Hey guys, Project Pat 345 coming at you with another deck profile update. This is for my Chain Burn deck. It is an update. As you guys know, I did take Chaos Dragons to Philly. Um, but, me personally, I don't like to run something that a lot of other people are running. Like, I hate running meta decks, but unfortunately for a big event, I felt like it was necessary to run Chaos Dragons because it's the deck I felt most comfortable with. So that's what I did. But this is an update on my Chain Burn deck. I'm seriously considering running this for Nationals. Me and a couple of my friends talked about it, and we decided that it does seem like a really good choice so far. We still need to play test with it a little bit more. One thing that we all agreed on is we don't like Card D in the deck, solely because of the fact that if you summon it, and most decks are playing 2 to 3 Veilers, 2 Torrentials, things like that you're just going to end up -1ing yourself, even though they -1. But you're not going to get your +1 off of it that you'd like. But this is my deck update with the side deck. So, obviously, you play a triple Scarecrow still. Double Lava Golem. I cut it down from 3 to 2. It just was a dead draw a lot of the time. And the deck has so much draw power that you draw into the 2 that you need. If you notice, I didn't play Battle Fader, and I'll explain it later. Instead, I played 2 Meteion, the Time Lord. This card's really good. When you summon it, it can't be destroyed by card effects. And you take no battle damage involving this card. And when it's attacked or is attacked, return all monsters your opponent controls to their hand. And then they take 300 for each one. And then during your standby, it gets shuffled back in your deck. The card's very good because, especially against Chaos Dragons, especially game 1, because most of the time they honestly don't have an answer to this because they don't play Warning, Torrential, or anything like that. And it can just bounce back their entire field, and it really sets them back, especially if they've used all their Lights and Darks in Grave. And it just puts a bunch of dead cards in their hand. And even if you're playing something like maybe Grave Keepers or TGs where you're kind of afraid of Deep Prison, even if you just summon this and pass, they're obviously not going to attack next turn because they can't get over it unless they make a Brio or something like that. But the card's very good. And then I also play Gorz. This is kind of a tech of mine. I'm testing it out right now. Even though you play, so many traps, all the traps except 2 are chainable. So Gorz is a good card, especially if they're, they go to attack, you chain all your stuff, and then you drop Gorz. It's kind of a surprise factor for them because they don't see it coming. And, depending on what they have on board, if it's something like against Chaos Dragons, you can really let Gorz. Gorz can let you go on the offensive, as opposed to just sitting back. And even if you poke for a couple life points here and there, it's still good. But, you can always just drop him and sit on him, especially if he's sitting like on a big-ass 3,000 token. So, Gorz has been testing out really well so far. Then for the spells, play triple One Day still. I'm not really going to explain the older cards because I did in my other video. I dropped it down to 2 Duality. 3 was working well, but I found a lot of the time, with so much draw power in the deck, I was drawing in the multiples of these, and you can obviously only activate 1 per turn. So it was kind of sitting as a dead card in my hand for a couple turns, and I really didn't like that. So I dropped it to 2, and it's been testing well. I may put it back up to 3, I may keep it at 2, I'm not sure yet. And then still 2 Chain Strike. And then for the traps, I play triple Threatening Roar. This is new from my last video. This is actually what I dropped. I dropped the Battle Fader for these 3. I got talking to my friends, and I was actually playing my friend, and he was playing Dark World. And he deck dev'd me, and he knocked, I think it was 2 Scarecrow and 3 Battle Fader out of my hand the next 3 turns, and I lost. Because most of my stall is monsters. So I dropped this. I dropped the Faders for Threatening. And my theory behind this was, this adds Chain Link still. And you can, it still stops attacks. But games 2 and 3, when they side in their decrees, I can auto-side these out for the 3 Battle Faders. So that way it makes their decrees less effective. And I can still stall. So that was my theory behind the Threatenings. And then still the +1 draw cards, Accumulated and Reckless. Yata-Grasu and Jar of Greed. And then for the burn cards, it's still triple Just Desserts, triple Secret Barrel, 2 Geometrio, and still 2 Cylinder. Even though I have played against a couple Inzectors, Cylinder still works really well. Especially if you hold on to this card. The Inzector player may think that, if they obviously will realize that all of your backers are chainable. So they may just, equip, Centipede with a Dragonfly and attack, because they don't want you getting the plus off of. So, you can still chain this. It's okay against Inzectors. I do still side it out, but it's not terrible game 1, especially because you're not playing D-Walls. So that's the main deck, and then the side deck is the triple battle fader, like I said. Games 2 and 3, the Threatening Roars automatically come out for these. Then 2 Volcanic Queens. These come in for the Lava Golems because, smart players will play around the Lava Golem, and usually only sit on 1 monster, and that's where Volcanic Queen comes in. So, alright, then all your spells play Triple Space. I know it's a common. I can't find one. I don't feel like looking for it. So Triple Space to deal with Decree. Same thing with the Double Twister. Heavy. This is also to deal with Decree, but also too, if you're playing against, if you go second, and your opponent goes first, they may set their entire hand, not really thinking anything of it because they may not think Chain Rune plays heavy, and then you can just Heavy Storm and you can just punish them by overextending and setting a bunch of cards. So it's so good. Then I should just play Reborn and Hole in the side deck. This is because Dark Hole kind of goes with the whole overextending thing. If they overextend first turn, trying to set up as quick as possible, you can Dark Hole and punish them. Or if you decide to keep in stuff like Lava Golems or like Gores or something, if that ever does hit the grave, you can Monster Reborn it and go on the offensive, especially if they have Decree up, because they can't Bottomless it, Deprison, Warning, they can't do any of that. So if you can Monster Reborn one of their big guys, it allows you to go on the offensive too. And then the last 2 traps are 2 D-Walls. I cut this down from 3. 3 honestly just wasn't that necessary. 2 D-Wall is fine, especially when you're playing 2 Cylinders and 2 D-Wall against stuff like Chaos Dragons, especially, which is really big right now, because they just take 28, 25, 23 to the face. So, and on top of your burn cards, it's actually a really easy matchup. So yeah, that's my Chaos Dragon deck, or not my Chaos, my Chain Burn deck, guys. If you have any questions, just PM me and I'll see if I can help you out. Thanks, guys.